In this video, you're going to see the future.
Hello, you awakened wonders. Welcome to Stay Free with Russell Brand. With me, Russell Brand. We got an awesome show. Let's see who's checking in here on the Rumble chat. Dr. Green Thumb. Isaac, come fix this chat. I messed it up. Hit that thumbs up button. Come check this out. I don't know what's going on. This is our team. Isaac. I don't know. The whole chat. I messed the whole thing up. Good. What an amazing show. Thank you, Tim Pool. Rated Tim Pool. All the people who are watching from Tim Pool. This is amazing. We got an awesome show today. Awesome show today. And, you know, we can't do this without an awesome home like Rumble. But, you know, that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and chats. Pretty good. That's pretty good. Here we go. Let's jump in here. We got Liberal Democrats leader Ed Davey gallops on a hoppy horse to launch a local election. That's strange.
It's killing me. Woo! Woo! Oh. It's a refusal. No. Should I do it? Yes? Yeah! It's blue. We're going to go straight through.
That's democracy UK style, while across the rest of Europe it looks like democracy is in serious trouble. The Marine Le Pen scandal rages on, with people on the left even saying it's disgusting, despicable and appalling that a political opponent has been subject to lawfare. Have you seen any other country in the world where the judiciary is being used to exploit and curtail political opponents? Did you see Elon Musk talking about how many people may have been registered and given the opportunity to vote in your country and social security numbers? This is pretty crazy. We've got so much to cover over the course of the show. We're going to be talking about Le Pen fallout. Bill Gates, do you know, see if you can guess in the comments and chat how much of Bill Gates' portfolio is invested in AI. Those of you joining us from Tim Pool and The Raid, welcome. Those of you watching us on Local, welcome. If you're watching us on X or YouTube, remember, ultimately, you're going to have to make your way to Rumble. Rumble supports us, and get Rumble Premium if you want access to additional content from us. We'll be talking about Bill Gates and AI. We're going to talk a little more about the Russia-Ukraine war and this terrifying story that people in Europe are being asked to stockpile 72 hours worth of supplies. And it's being made into some frivolous joke, but it looks like the new crisis event could be on the horizon. And coming up in the next few weeks, we've got two extraordinary Brits coming on as guests, controversial British guests coming on the show. Let me know in the chat who you think I'm talking about. We're going to have a little bit of chat about your health in the US, because now that Bobby Kennedy is in power at the HHS with Dr. Oz and all them guys, apparently people are terrified that you Americans will start eating healthier again. And the American Heart Association has sent an employee to Texas to fight a bill that would stop food stamps from covering candy and soda. Let me know in the comments and chat if you think food stamps should be buying people heart attack foods. And let me know why you think the American Heart Association will be advocating for eating foods that are bad for you. I wonder where they get some of their donation and some of their funding. No, it's not going to be Winston Churchill, more MAGA. It's not going to be Tommy Robinson. I think he's banged right up, isn't he? He's been free speeched right up the a-hole. I'd talk to Tommy Robinson any time, man, because I think that using the law to control political opponents is pretty appalling. Once you abandon Jeremy Clarkson, that will be good. Nigel Farage, yeah, we'd have him on any day, no problem. I've seen one of you's guessed correctly in the chat. We'll be revealing so much more. But firstly, Do you all know you've been saying Qatar incorrectly for a long time now?
So we'll probably stop at UAE and Qatar, and as I used to call it, Qatar. Nobody's ever told me right or wrong. I always like to say Qatar, but it's Qatar. They like to say Qatar. And Saudi Arabia, the three of them, and then we'll go other places also. But in the Middle East, those seem to be the three.
Qatar! 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 We've got to call it Qatar. Yeah, George Galloway, that would be good. David Icke, some people saying. Katie Hopkins, yes, we're getting some good guesses. But there is one G that tops them all. Going to be coming on pretty soon. Oh, Lawrence Fox. Yeah, we got some interesting guests coming up on the show. We're going for it this April Fool's. Well, actually, that's not April Fool's Day stuff. That's just simple facts. Okay, so what's this then? Oh, man, would you get in one of these flying autonomous drones? Let me know in the comments and chat if you fancy a bit of that. Not in the snow. If I'm going to get in an autonomous drone, I'm not going to do it when it's snowing in China. This just in, Lee Harvey Oswald can't have killed John F. Kennedy, God rest his eternal soul, because it turns out that there is footage of him, it's claimed by Anna Paulina, Florida representative, that he was by the vehicle. He was by the vehicle when the shooting took place. Where is it?
I would like to actually tell the American people, it was made aware to me this evening that NBC actually has a video that's never been seen before. We're actually going to be sending a letter requesting that from NBC because it allegedly shows Oswald near the vehicle when the assassination took place, which means that he couldn't have been the shooter. So again, we're tracking down all this information. But look, there's even a CIA document that came out that Mr. Morley pointed out that actually said that the CIA never bought the lone gunman theory. And so I think the American people had an inclination as to what we were saying, but we never had the hard evidence until now. And so it's important to note that in a free and fair society, how could you operate or have an agency operating in the shadows? And so kudos to President Trump, also Director Radcliffe and Tulsi Gabbard for pushing for this transparency. It is going to be generational changing that they've done this. And we hope to bring forward legislation to ensure that this never happens again for future generations to come.
Cannot assassinate any presidents using the deep state and patsies to conduct them and lone gunmen. Have we had any stories lately where mysterious lone gunmen have attempted to assassinate a president, then when we've looked into their background, they're like the only 20-year-old in the world that don't have social media profiles or phones and have worked mysteriously for BlackRock? Yeah, I think it could happen again. I believe the JFK story is significant and important because it's a kind of early blueprint and imprimatur of modern politics, i.e. the deep state runs the state, not vice versa. Globalism has subverted nationalism, but things are changing and things are changing fast. Over the course of the show, we're going to be talking about turbo cancers. Some of you would have seen Dr. Patrick, hold on, let me say this, Sun-Shon. I think it was Dr. Patrick Sun-Shon on Tucker. Did you see that? Saying there's like a cancer pandemic, a non-contagious pandemic. What could have caused this massive rise in cancer? Let me know in the comments and chat. We're going to be talking about nurses in Massachusetts concerned about the growing number of cancer cases among staff. Were there any people that were compelled to take, for example, vaccines during the pandemic period? I'm not suggesting that there's a connection between the vaccines and this rise of cancer, but it'll be interesting with Jay Bhattacharya in the NIH. That means that he's the person that determines what tests and clinical trials get done now. Whether or not links will be established at some point, let me know in the comments and chat if you think that there's some connection between the rise of myocarditis, pericarditis, that's been established that's connected to the mRNA jabs. I wonder if this turbo cancer scandal is going to be one of the stories that wakes people up. And if you're in Europe, and you should get out of there fast, let me know if you're aware that you're meant to prepare a 72-day bag, not 72-day bag, 72-hour bag for emergencies. Are you aware of this? Do you know about that in the Rumble chat? Do you know about it? Freedom of speech? Do you know about it? Draco Americanus? Do you know about it? Sensitive Hearts over on Locals? Wherever you're watching us, X, or YouTube. Ultimately, we will be on Rumble and Rumble Premium. Thanks, Paul, for the raid. Thanks, Crowder, for the raid. Second chance, you'll never get me, you vampires. RM Grum. The jab is the common denominator. Jude the Brain. Yes, there's a connection. Roy E. Oh, God, yeah, there's a connection. Oswald had no rifle. He was on the second floor break room. Yep, we're still talking about it. We're still talking about it after all these years. Now, while the controversy rages about the unprecedented power of Elon Musk, the billionaires of yesteryear still clamour for more authority. Bill Gates, he's the billionaire that the left love to love. He seems to have benefited somewhat from his investment in BioNTech, part of the Pfizer vaccine program, and it appears that 35% of Bill Gates' portfolio, investment portfolio, I don't know if any of you got that right, is invested in AI technologies. So why is it that Bill Gates is doing some media tour advocating for AI? What does Bill Gates think his job is? Why is Bill Gates on Jimmy Fallon telling us that AI is the future? It's an extraordinary appearance in many ways. Let's have a look, first of all, at his appearance on Jimmy Fallon. Let me know in the comments and chat why you think he's advocating for AI. And let me know if you think this is connected to mysterious projects in Europe, for example, telling people to prepare for a new crisis. And what's the worst crisis there can be? I'd say at the moment, war. Are we being groomed and prepared for war? Is that what's going down in Europe these days? We'll be covering that and so much more over the course of the next hour. If you're watching us on YouTube, we'll be with you for a few more minutes. But remember, you've got to join us on Rumble because we care about free speech. We care about freedom. You're already in a war. You know that, don't you? You're in a war for your personal freedom, for the freedom of everyone that you care about and love. You are in a spiritual war right now. It's time to awaken. Let's get into this story about Bill Gates and the global oligarchs that seek to control us all. Let's do it, baby.
The era that we're just starting is that intelligence is rare. You know, a great doctor, a great teacher. And with AI, over the next decade, that will become free, commonplace. You know, great medical advice, great tutoring. And it's kind of profound because it solves all these specific problems, like we don't have enough doctors or, you know, mental health professionals. But it brings with it kind of so much change. You know, what will jobs be like? Should we, you know, just work like 2 or 3 days a week? So I love the...
Yeah, because that's how technology rolls out. Yeah, we'll all just have leisurely working weeks. Yeah, the white goods revolution of the 50s turned your housewife into a figure of leisure. What we're discussing now is embarking on a journey to global tyranny where technology will be used to assert further and further control. We're always sold advancement on the basis that it will create convenience or safety, but it's always ultimately leveraged by the powerful. Who do you think is going to benefit more from AI technology? People that are incredibly powerful or people that are powerless? It's an extraordinary thing to contemplate and reflect on. It seems that power attracts power. Like there's a magnetism at the top strata of society, and the top strata of society is tightly controlled and managed. Let me know in the comments and chat if you think that Bill Gates is one of the true faces of power, along with someone like George Soros, or if you consider figures on the right like Thiel and Elon Musk to be the true new elites, or do you think the truly powerful are occultistly invisible, opaque, unobservable to us, that scamper molecularly, chatting and backbiting among one another while the real elites are masked?
The way it'll drive innovation forward. But I think, you know, it's a little bit unknown. Yeah. Will we be able to shape it? And so legitimately, people are like, wow, this is a bit scary. It's completely new territory.
I mean, will we still need humans?
Not for most things. You know, we'll decide.
I mean, hosting a talk show, definitely. You're gonna need, really?
It's an interesting debate, isn't it? Need humans. What is your value? What is your intrinsic value as a human being? Is it because you can work, because you can provide value, or is there something deeper that is valuable about you? Is your value what you can achieve by merit, or are you inherently valuable? Are you the living signature and hallmark of the presence of God? What Bill Gates is saying is so revelatory, really, because in it is embedded the truth that if you're not available to operate as a member of the serf class, if you're not carrying a drink or driving a car or operating in some mid-managerial purgatory at the behest of concealed Satans, then you're disposable to them. You might get sold the idea that through AI things are going to get more convenient, and who among us hasn't used ChatGPT to answer an inquiry, or sometimes just to test its moral limits or see what we can get ChatGPT to participate in. There's no question that any tool could be used for the advancement of the kingdom, but there's no question that these days the fallen one is in charge of material systems. Every time you ask yourself, why is the world like this? Why is the world so broken? Take a look at Bill Gates on Jimmy Fallon, and you will see the answer. It's because you are regarded as a commodity. Your value is your value to serve the system. Not that you are inherently valuable because you are redeemed, because you are forgiven, because you are made in the image of your creator, because you are beautiful. The thing that's weird is that the globalist secular view is fraught with total contradiction, because you can't have women's rights or black rights or trans rights or minority rights or children's rights unless there is something fundamentally, ineffably, and incontrovertibly valuable about a human being. Unless you can look at anybody, someone you love and care about, or someone who's cast out like refuse into the street, and say that you truly are made in God's image, you are worthy of love, you are here to be part of the human family. If you don't believe that, if you believe a human being's value is simply in order to drive a Uber or to deliver a drink or clear out a gutter or to trim a hedge or a bush, if you think works is what makes you, then ultimately you create tyrannies. Bill Gates is the face of innocuous anodyne tyranny, a kind of sterile tyranny, a kind of flaccid prick tyranny, not a hard priapic vascular tyranny of the old days where pharaohs and emperors would kowtow you and have you tugging blocks about the place and building pyramids for who knows what reason. No, now the meek have inherited the earth, the nerds have inherited the earth. The innocuous, washed-out, veal-calf, pale, bespectacled have inherited the earth. And they're here to tell you that your value is binary, 0 and 1. If you can't serve, you don't deserve. You have to awaken now. You have to break the chains and recognize your own divinity within you. You have to recognize the beauty in life within everybody. You got to acknowledge trans rights and black rights and white rights and every conceivable kind of right, because we are all part of one family of God. Bill Gates will usher you into the very mouth of hell. Bill Gates of hell, I call him, for he sees nothing except the accrued value of material things. And he would have us all laboring to create new pyramids of power, a new pharaoh, but not with a grandeur of Ptolemy or the many powerful kings of Egypt that enslaved the Jewish people. No, we are now all part of his domain and dominion, unless we awaken right now. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat? Why don't you organise Minty33 in the Rumble chat? And then what, Russell? Why don't you organise a parallel solution instead of flowery rhetoric? Okay, listen good. Listen good, motherfucker. Here's the solution. Awaken now as an individual. Throw off their shackles. Use the very technology that they're proposing to organize local communities. Demand that all food is sourced locally. Break down any centralized lobbyist organization. And above all else, disobey. Disobey. Refuse to pay taxes. Refuse to participate in their war. Anyone you know that's done military service, galvanize them now. The true heroes that are willing to kill and die. Those are the people that must be brought to the forefront. If you know people in agriculture, build new relationships with them. The revolution is about us, is around us, it is happening now. But do you think one man in a boiler suit's going to do that shit on their own? Minty33, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Stand up. Rise up. Minty33, I'm talking to you, Minty33. Time for you to awaken. Time to recognize that you have power. Don't look to anybody else. Start participating in this thing. That's what I think, baby. That's what I think. 11 dark mode. Dark mode, Russell. Yep, baby. Yep, that's the stuff. Time to awaken. Let's see what Bill Gates does with his money these days. Let's wrap up his interview on Fallon. and then we'll see where he's been investing.
You're gonna need, really?
Well, we'll decide, like baseball. We won't want to watch computers play baseball.
That's correct. Yeah.
And, so there'll be some things that we reserve for ourselves. But in terms of making things,
That's Luciferian, that's Mephistophelian. Have any of you read any Goethe? Have you seen The Pact? This is a person that's got too much power. You can't just sit there and pontificate on Fallon and say, well, we might still have baseball. Once in a while, what I might do is get out the wiggle worm that lives down my pants, and I might take a trip to Epstein Island. We don't call it that anymore since Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in prison and the cameras went down. Instead of which, what we'll do now, we'll all have billionaire leisurely island. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely great. Yeah, what about Bill Gates blocking the sunshine? You remember that stuff, right? Did you forget already some of the crazy things that dude suggested? Oh, man, did you forget some of the crazy people Epstein molested? Crazy days, baby. Crazy days. Remember, get over to Rumble. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. Give us a like. Get involved in the conversation. Let me know what you feel. Let me know what you think. Like, no fucks given. Brand you pervert. Yeah, man, I'm a pervert. I'm an apostate because we are deviating away from the religion of a culture that wants you like a dumb, obedient servant of the system. You must deviate from their path. You must try the real frequency. Russell's gone MAGA. Nah, man. I don't think that there's any political solution available until politicians are absolutely in the service of the people, until we maximally decentralize to maximal subsidiarity, till you're in control of your own life and your own community, till you're willing to reach out in total fraternity to people that disagree with you. We're going to have conflict and they're going to control us. We'll be talking in a little while about third-term Trump versus third-term Obama. It's the showdown we've been looking for. It's wrestling politics now. Let me know in the comments and chat, who would win in a showdown between Obama and Trump? The Constitution's being torn up. People are doing 3 terms, 4 terms, more terms. 4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more terms. 4 more terms. Come on, Tina O'Ana. Let me know what you think. Terry D. Powell in the chat. Let me know what you think. Marianne 1971. Let's get into this stuff. We need you, baby. Digital hippie. Fuck this idiocracy. Yeah, wake up. Educate yourselves. Rise up. Okay, let's see. Now, it turns out that Bill Gates has been investing in 35% of his portfolio is invested in these 2 artificial intelligence stocks. Are they no-brainer buys? Yeah. I would say so. Go get some of that stock. Go get it. And, well, looky here. It turns out that BioNTech accounts for 17.5% of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation portfolio, which owns almost 148,000 shares, valued at $15.7 million. Now, what's interesting about that, of course, is throughout the pandemic era, Bill Gates was advising us, giving us the benefit of his wisdom, telling us that what we all had to do was stay indoors, take the vaccine, all that kind of stuff. Well, guess what? There's been a massive rise in turbo cancers among children and in particular among medical workers. These are some of the revelations that were discussed by Tucker Carlson and Patrick Sean Sun, I believe is his name. I'll get it right when we get to it. We'll be looking at that story as well as my crazy old prison planet, the UK, where check this out. Private WhatsApp chats between parents at a school are being spied on and police are being sent to arrest parents for talking trash about school. What's going on in the UK? Is it now a nation or a penal colony? Let me know on the chat. Wherever you're watching us, YouTube, X, ultimately you're going to have to make your way to Rumble and participate in Rumble's new lineup. We're going to be back with some fantastic stories. The cancer vaccine connection, Jon Stewart awakening to the problems of the liberal left, Elon Musk paternity. We're going to be covering all that. Let me know what you want us to cover, as well as the American Heart Foundation lobbying to keep America unhealthy. Before we get into all that, here's a quick message from one of our partners. The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world, and with April 15th fast approaching, it's more aggressive than ever. In 2025, enforcement has ramped up, and if you owe back taxes or have unfiled returns, waiting is not an option. The longer you do, the worse it gets. Ignoring your tax troubles is the worst thing you can do. Getting ahead of this now is the smart move, but never contact the IRS alone. Let the experts at Tax Network USA handle it for you. Why? Because not all tax resolution companies are the same. Tax Network USA has a preferred direct line to the IRS, meaning they know exactly which agents to deal with and which ones to avoid. Tax Network USA have done the thinking for you. Don't just start ringing them up. You could get a right dick on the end of the line. With proven strategies to settle tax problems in your favor, whether you owe 10 grand or $10 million, Tax Network USA's agents and negotiators have already resolved over $1 billion in tax debt. Talk with one of their strategists today. It's free. Stop the threatening letters, stop looking over your shoulder, and protect yourself from property seizures and bank levies. Don't let the IRS control your future. Call 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/brand. April the 15th is just around the corner. Act now before the IRS acts first. Oh man, my racists, my rapists, my bigots, my maniacs, my misogynists and haters. Surely all these monikers can be inverted by our Lord. Surely we can, like St. Francis, become fools for the King of Paradise, jongleurs, tumbling through this crazy world inverted, seeing the concealed truth, recognizing the fragility and temporality of material things as the divine flow awakens us. Come, Holy Spirit, come, Holy Spirit. Even now in Europe, preparations are being made for 72 hours of crisis. Let me know in the comments and chat what you think about that. Are we being prepped and groomed? Some new event 209, getting us ready for the next coup of the globalist establishment. One thing's for sure, even people deeply entrenched on the left are in shock and awe about the Marine Le Pen situation. Marine Le Pen has been banned from running for political office in France as a result of an embezzlement conviction investigation where it turns out she's been using money and expenses from her seat on the European Parliament to spend on national politics in France particularly. So it's like she's been taking money from this account and spending it in this account. Now that is, by the letter of the law, pretty bad. But do you reckon people like Ursula von der Leyen, the head of the EU, and various other bureaucrats are whiter than white, cleaner than clean, blacker than black, if you have a different impression on what colour represents purity? Because I suppose there is no absolute when it comes to hues and spectrums. One thing I'll tell you for sure is that even people way out on the left, actual Marxists like Yanis Varoufakis, who was one of the leaders of Syriza, a populist left-wing or political organisation that were briefly in office in Greece, has said this is disgusting. Our very own Glenn Greenwald on Rumble has said this is a transgression against the very principles of democracy. So let me know in the comments and chat, are rights just reserved for the in-group, for your own tribe? Or if you have principles, must you in particular apply them to those that disagree with you? Free speech for those you disagree with. Let me know in the comments and chat what you think about that. Let's get into this Marine Le Pen story and its fallout. Firstly, here's Marine Le Pen herself reacting to the news that she can't run no more for political office.
Rendez-vous compte? Do you realise that on this fateful day, Monday the 31st of March 2025, such a critical day, what this represents for our democracy and for our country, when millions of French people will be denied by a court judge without any possible recourse, the candidate who was until today the favourite to win the presidential elections? Surely that must shock and horrify all those who respect democracy and the rule of law.
Shocked and horrified by that, or do you not care because, I don't like Marine Le Pen or I don't care about France? Do you see that what's happening now is we are once more being ushered towards an imperialist, centralised, bureaucratic state where the no-balls nerds like Bill Gates are able to pull the strings of power from behind the scenes, where in France, if you happen to be a bit right-wing or nationalist, as Marine Le Pen is, and as she said herself, she was the favourite to win the 27 election in France in a couple of years. If you agree that she should be prevented from running for office because it's expedient, then in a sense you're part of the problem. And do any of us think that this is really about embezzlement rather than politics? Let me know in the comment chat. Donald Trump's come out and made his own views clear.
Marine Le Pen, the far-right leader, got convicted in court and is now banned from running for office for 5 years. Do you have a comment?
That's a big deal. That's a very big deal. I know all about it, and a lot of people thought she wasn't going to be convicted of anything, and I don't know if it means conviction, but she was banned for running for 5 years, and she's the leading candidate That sounds like this country. That sounds very much like this country.
That's what globalism is. There's one global agenda that is being asserted on all nations. Have you noticed it? It's happening everywhere. It's happening in the UK. It's happening in the United States of America. Somehow the American people managed through the ballot box to ensure that their preferred candidate, Donald Trump, ascended to office as part of a new collaborative government venture that includes people from across the spectrum. Tulsi Gabbard, Bobby Kennedy, people that you couldn't imagine running with Trump in 2016. The media never reported on that because, of course, the media are part of this nexus of globalist power that seeks to control individual people and won't rest till they're absolutely controlled. If you want to know what their agenda is, watch Bill Gates on Jimmy Fallon. The agenda is this: human beings will become expendable. In their eyes, you're expendable already. If you ain't cleaning their toilets or serving their tables, you can do one, son. They don't need you no more. Now, let's have a look at what the connotations of this are. If you're willing to use the law to control a political opponent, shut down voices just because you disagree with them, what is going to be the likely outcome? Let me know in the comments and chat. If you're watching us on YouTube, we're going to have to shut you right down because YouTube is a portal of the very kind of globalist tendencies that we're discussing now. If you want to see the rest of this story, click the link in the description. Get on over to Rumble, where we can speak freely as part of Rumble's new lineup, including Glenn Greenwald, Stephen Crowder, Tim Paul, Kim Iverson, all sorts of brilliant contributors, absolutely committed to free speech and telling you the truth in spite of the obvious costs and consequences of truth-telling. Get into the Rumble chat with Draco Americanus and Colorado Watch and Mrs. Tindlestrom and join right in. Also, locals like Practice Dummy, Mrs. CMS and Hendy24, we got a lot of lovely friends supporting us. Thanks for your support. And remember, if you don't have Rumble Premium yet, get Rumble Premium now.